Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hope you are doing well. If my screen is visible to you, you can see what I'm sharing on the screen and loud and clear. I'm audible. Please quickly confirm. Hello Xavier. Thank you for joining. Let's wait uh, only a minute to expecting more people to join. Thank you Xavier for the confirmation. Thanks. All right. So it's 1802. I mean 1800 or something, whatever. So I let's begin, and more people we are expecting. So we are going to start slowly. And anyway, we are streaming, and this is also available after the stream, so people can watch it later as well. So I welcome you, all of you, for day 4 of our Lust of Linux series. Everything you need to know to get started. And today we are going to start day 4, which is very interesting, which is also related to the topic of the security of the Linux indirectly, I would say, and why it is important. Why should you learn the user management? You might be say, okay, I don't want to go ahead and do the Linux administration part, or maybe you could say, I'm just thank you, Divine, for confirming. Or you might be say, okay, I'm gonna use only for my personal workstation. But I believe you guys are already on the boat, okay, where you cannot deny to learn this one, because more you know, if you are. So this is just a starting series, and as I mentioned, we will go more deeper into its beginners to advanced level. So since day 3, whatever we have learned, we that was the basic. I consider as a basic, and now onwards what we are going to learn, that is more advanced in the field of Linux. Of course, advanced things also have basic concepts, so that we will learn today. Additionally, point time to time I will also let you let you know why we are doing this, okay, and what is this point, or where this point is relevant to you in the if you go further in the field of IT. Okay, so let's see the agenda. So we, as I said, everything has basic. So this advanced things also have basic. So here in this point, we will learn the some essential things. Okay, where we can find what, and then we will go the hands-on. And as I mentioned, I think I did not mention. So today is completely hands-on. We will see everything in action. We won't go, but we will also learn the concept. Okay, and of course quizzes are there, and we will wrap up the session along with your quizzes or your questions, and what we are going to learn next session, everything we will discuss. So this is the agenda. And before I go ahead, I would like to mention over here, please, if you want, you can connect with me over here. Let me also put this link. Okay, this is our LinkedIn group, and if you guys okay, if you say we should have a WhatsApp group, we will also thinking about this. But if you provide your feedback, might be, then I'll think about that. Okay, so but for time being, this is the group. You can connect with me if you have any questions after the session, or if you want to um, discuss something, you could connect with me over here. And yeah, that's it for this group. And additionally, these are our social media handles, and on Instagram we are running quizzes. We are posting 4 quizzes a day, not only one, a quiz a day. So we have increased the velocity for that, and thank you very much, guys. You are participating over there, also putting your answer over there. That's really amazing. And we are not done over here. This weekend I will post more than 100 questions for each topic on our GitHub repository. And last time, one of our user, Suraj, he mentioned about to sharing the notes. So notes will also share via the GitHub repository over here. Okay, so I don't wanna put you on sleep by talking of all these things. So whichever is your wherever you are. Okay, if you are a student or whatever is your favorite, feel free to connect with us. Okay, I'll answer if you have any question anything. So let's start with first topic, user management. In this, I would like to mention 2 files. Okay, and now so far we are very good with the files. Okay, we already learned about in day 1 to day 3. Okay, so here we have 2 files, and etc is the directory over here. Okay, and this is the parent directory. So here there are 2 files in /etc, and we know all the configuration Linux manage inside the etc directory, which is literally mean etc. Right, so we have 2 files over here. One is passwd, another one is shadow. So again, there are 2 files only for the user management perspective. You must know, not you should know. I would say you must know. Okay, and why I'm talking about this, because after this session, I mean, in upcoming session, we are going to learn permissions. Okay, or we will go more into security side, so you know where you get what things. Okay, and for user, you will find the information in this file, password. And shadow is the latter come into the play, where actually the user's password is stored. So let's learn first thing about the passwd file. Okay, and how it looks like. I will also show you later on the terminal, but let's first understand this. Okay, so we learned already head command in previous session. So in this file, when you say head dash n, okay, and /etc passwd, so you would see this is the root user, which is, I would say, like if you're coming from Windows background, so you have administrator over there. Similarly, in Linux we have a root user. And next field, we will come on that, on what these fields are. Okay, so I mean, I will explain each and every. There are 7 fields, and what is their significance, what is their purpose. But here the important point, 0 and 0. Okay, again, here's the root, /root bin bash. So always remember. Okay, we will also, I mean, it is not done, we are just starting. So these 2 fields, these are the user ID and group ID. So let's first talk about, but always remember, this is the uh, interview question. Okay, if you are starting, right, in that case, you always know what is the ID of the root user. So 00. And why this is important, so I'll tell you after explaining some couple of things over here. All right, so let's go ahead. So very first line, so I created this user DSOCube. So in out of total 7 fields, so first will represent the login name of the user. Always remember, this is login name of the user. Okay, second field, which is the password, and where password gets stored, password stored in /etc shadow file. Password stored in /etc shadow file. Okay, historically this would contain an encrypted password. This it means passwd file. Here it was encrypted password before it was here. After that, um, I mean, it often contains X, okay, and now the password is the location, okay. The file is changed, and which is slash etc shadow. We will also see that file, okay, and X indicating that the password is stored in the shadow file, and that's what is here. So first field is username, second field is password, then third field is UID, or you could say user ID, okay. The next field is the group ID, and that's what we have to learn, okay. So user and group management. And if you see, whenever you create a user on Linux, always whatever UID as a user, okay, it also Linux also assign same as a group ID. Means there is also a group created for that particular user. So 1000 1000, okay. We will see more user we will create, and we will talk it more about, but we are just learning what these seven fields represent, okay. So first one is username, or login, user login, like when we register, okay, for any of the portal, or maybe for email, or so you have to provide your username and your full name, right? Similarly here is it's a username the user has to provide in order to log in this field. Second field represents password, third one is user ID, fourth one is group ID. Next we have user info, example full name. So like I mentioned, when you sign up you provide your name, or you also choose your username as well, right? So but you also provide your full name or something. So in Linux that field, similarly we have this field. And why this field is important, as I said, especially this is when you are doing user administration work, where many people are logging on the same server, and admin has to decide, okay, this is the username for that user, and it's the name of that particular user, okay. That's why we have this field. So after that we have home directory, and it's we know all the users home directory is created inside slash home, okay. So 1000 here, it's very first user. So if you install your Linux first time, and at the time of when you set a password and provide the user name, okay, everything, so same, there is a directory also created. We will see more, we are coming on that shortly. And third part, the seventh one, is a shell. Which shell is user is going to use when the user login on the system, okay. So again there are total seven fields. First field is username, second field is a password, third field is a user ID, fourth field is GID or group ID. After that we have a fifth one, right, where user info. These are optional. If you don't keep anything over here, you could remove it. It will reflect the same as your username. Then you have a home directory field, and after that you have a shell, okay. So always remember, so here we have some of the users. So if you install, like we first day we talk about this, after log into the system, we install the SSH, okay. So this is the SSH user, and here is also X, okay. And 122, it's a different, it is not 1001, okay, it's a 122 or something over here. Run SSHD. And so why this? So because it's a system user, okay. And in Linux, when we talk about the process management, then you will see all the process also runs as a user. That's why the system user is also created, okay. And when I talk about this root, so whenever whatever process has a ID 0, it means it belongs to root user, okay. That's why root is very important, and it has a special. And additionally, if you work on container, and inside container if you see any process is running as a ID process, a user ID as a 0, it means it is running as a root. So Linux basically plays with the ID or numbers, okay, not with the name of the user. Okay, so these are the fields, and after that shadow file, and in shadow file over here again, here we have 9 fields. So very first thing, if you see here, so again same thing, very first it's a user. So for me it's a user field is like this, and next field which is the encrypted password. And in this case, I mean, I have hidden some of the content of this. Okay, you may access on your system, and you may check, it's very long string, okay, which is encrypted. But here we could see, um, for this user we have a password, okay, and for this as well. But for this I don't have. Here I have bank sign. Sometimes in this field you may find asterisk sign or star sign or this one. So what it means, it means user account has been locked, okay. And when you have exclamation, it means the password not set or not usable. Okay, after that we have a next field after this one. Okay, this field represents minimum days, okay, minimum number of days required between password change and maximum day, sorry, password change. So when you set this, so user has this many minimum days. Within these days user has to change the password. Okay, though we are not doing the administration, but is we are going to learn that. But I'm just explaining you why these fields are important. Okay, when you create any user, when you by default when we create a user, it don't ask, okay, it doesn't ask us to set anything. But if you want to assign, then these fields will reflect those values. Okay, then next we have a warning days. Okay, how many days before we get the we send the warning or user get the warning your password is going to expire. Then we have inactive days. Okay, from how many days the user is already active, sorry, inactive after password expire. Then we have password expiry date, and the last field, okay, which is a reserve for future use. And what is future use, I don't know. And here we go, it looks something like this. Okay, so these are the default values. You could see it might be different in your system. So yeah, that's it. So remember, we have only 2 files. One file is /etc passwd, where all the user informations are there, and this file has more information about the user password. And especially when you go into security side, okay, or user management sites, okay, then here you will find I mean, for example, if user is not able to log in, you quickly check what's the status, okay, in a passwd file. Okay, and if user password expired, you could re-enable or recreate a password, and so on and so forth. So usually nowadays everything has moved to cloud or moving to the towards the cloud. So we have a different ways to manage the user, okay, using the IAM. Like for example, of in AWS, what we do. But still you cannot create I am a user, right, for some XYZ reason, being a DevOps, being a AI engineer, being a data engineer, or so on and so forth. In then you have to create additional user. Okay, so user can access, so you know where is what in case if you are doing so. Okay, so it's very simple, nothing special. Maybe I spend much time over here, but these are the foundation blocks we must know. So passwd etc. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, so I'll take it as a no, and now it's my time to ask question. Okay, so which file contains user account information? First, /etc passwd, next /etc group /etc shadow, and /etc g shadow. Okay, so guys, please answer. All right. So here, the correct answer is passwd. Okay, where the passwords are stored. Next question: which file contains user password information? Thank you, Xavier, for the answer. Anybody else would like to answer? Maybe you could put A, B, or C, or something like that. Anybody else? Okay, thank you, Divine Light. Thank you, Xavier, for the answer A. Good. So here, as I mentioned, anybody else wants to answer? All right. So here the thing is, okay, we have A, A. Okay, all right. So here the thing is, when the first one, like when I talk about this one, so here we have user account information, and as I mentioned, later on these things has moved. Okay, only the password related information, when it is going to expire, how long how many days the password has a validity, how many days before we um, user can how to say, I mean, how many days before we inform the user, all this informations moved out of the slash etc passwd file and move in shadow file. Okay, so this is the answer where, yeah, so everything is already been moved to slash etc shadow file. All right, so now we are moving towards the next part, user management hands-on, and is everything, or I would say the entire focus must be over here. Okay, so let's go ahead, not here, here. All right, amazing, nice guys. So here, very first thing what we are gonna do, we are going to see total three commands. Okay, we have three commands. First command is to user add. So I mean, in user management, what you could do, either, very nice, very nice. Okay. So uh, okay, so guys, maybe I receive a response little bit. There is a delay in the response. Okay, so I could see. So I'm sorry if overlapping what we are talking. Okay, but now we are moving towards the user management. And user management, there are, you could do either you could add a user on the system, okay, and you could delete the user, you could modify the user information. There are three things we could, and we really don't need to keep everything in mind, but what we need to keep in mind, where, okay, where we can find pot. So since beginning I'm telling you about this one. Okay, so sorry user add. Okay, and if you see over here, one second. All right, so this is the main page. Okay, main page, it's a manual page of the user aid command. Okay, so this is the command where you get everything, whatever information you need about or what are the options available. So synopsis, it means your syntax, how you use this command, and these are some of the examples. Okay, and here we have options. So let's see the option, but here what login means. So login means your username, it's referring, and it says user add is a low level utility, so you could read about it. What is this? Okay, again, I don't wanna um, put you on sleep. So, but here there are some options which we are going to learn today. Okay, and then we will come back again and we will see what are the important options which we have saw. Okay, but I told you where you can find the information. You can find the information over here. If you could also get short. Okay, oh sorry, user add the screen. Okay, these are option. Help is also summarized. Before, these are not much, but now days we also have help, and these are very popular. So but if you want to really go more deeper into, you could go and check the manual pages for the command. Okay, what I'm gonna do, let me show you the first file, etc, and I'm not gonna open it like this. So tell dash n1, and we use this before, right? So passwd, and you could see, sorry, not tell, my bad, I wanted to show you about the root. Okay, and we have something like this, and you could see, because password has moved somewhere else from this directory, this file, so I can easily show you this file. Okay, because those the passwords are encrypted, but still whenever people, I mean the hackers, okay, they are after this file because they know where they can find what. Okay, so if you are after this course training or this Linux knowledge, if you want to go towards security side, so this would be very helpful for you to know where you get the important things in Linux. Okay, so this is one thing. After that, I wanted to use tell, and in this, let's say last 5 lines, and here is my user. Okay, this was the user, and again SSH is this one, and we do not have any other user at all at the moment, right? So let's go ahead and create one user. So very first command is to user add. So how we can use user add? Okay, and when I execute user add, then user add, and it, I have to provide a login name. So I want to create, let's say dev1 user. Okay, so it says permission denied. It means you must be a privileged user or as a root user, or root, of course root could do anything on the, it has unlimited powers, right, on the server, on the system, so it could do anything. But in our case, we are privileged user. Okay, and that's why I said very first user, when whatever you are creating on your Linux system already has this um, capability. So how we can do, so I just press up arrow key, so previous command has come up, then on control A, so just to jump cursor on the beginning of the line, then we put sudo over here, and then we have to provide a password. One more thing before creating a user, I would like to show you home directory. Okay, and we do not have any home directory over here. So as I said, whenever we create any user, there is a user directory will be created. Okay, or there user directory will be created for user. So let's hit enter and provide the password, and user has been created. So let me clear the screen, and now we know. Okay, tell command like this, and we got the user dev1, and there is no harm if I put something like this. So I just use option if you are on Windows, or yeah, on quadri keyboard, right? I mean not on Mac, then you have alter and you could press this key, okay, just to jump. So I did that. So tell dash n and 1, and here my user. Okay, and if you see, the user UID has been generated 1001. So you could quickly see the, well, after creating after installation, okay, after that what user has been created. So 1001 is a group. Then of course we did not provide any of the details over here, that's why in between this column this is empty, And home directory we can find in slash home. I just copy it, and if on I mean if you're not on Mac, then Control Shift C and Control Shift V, and for Mac it's option Control C and Control V. So yeah, that's a home directory, and this is the shell which is assigned to this user. So let me do it again, ls dash t, and no such file or directory. So let me do one thing. What happened? So for this user, uh, home directory was not created. So did I make any mistake? No. So here, in order to when you create a user, okay, by default it doesn't create a home directory for user. Okay, in order to create a home directory for user, we have an option. And what option we could use? So again, sudo and user add. It's very user add, very simple, no special thing. Then I have to choose dash m. Okay, what it does, it creates a user's home directory, and let's onboard or create a account for dev2 developer 2. Okay, and oops, sorry, what I did, my bad. User add, I use tab very often, and group 2 is exist. If you want to add this user to that group, use G. Okay, that's fine. So let's check again, and this time what we are gonna do, 2 user is not created, then I need to delete user. Okay, so that I will leave it as is. We will see later how we can delete the user. So instead, let me onboard another user. So dev3 sudo user add dash m dev3. This time, now again we check passwd file. So dev1 was created, and next user dev2 has been created for us, and after that user id is created 1002, and so on and so forth. But here the group id is different, okay, because the group id was not available. But today we are only talking about the user management. In next session we will more discuss in detail about the groups. Okay, so just high level overview, so don't worry about this. And here it also says this one and this one. All right, so let's see, do we already have this one? So dev3, this is the home directory, is created for this user. Okay, this is for dash m option. So user add, after that user add, and you could type dash dash help. Here these options are available for you. Okay, and we use the m option, so you could see create home, create the user's home directory. Okay, so yeah, we have this option, so we have created. But in this, if you see over here, what happened here, the by default shell is also assigned, right? Sometimes what we want to do, we want to assign a different shell to a user. So what we could do is very simple. Here we have another option, and which is dash s. And how it works, so let's go sudo user add, and this time we want to perform two operations at the same time. We want to create a user home directory, and for creating a user home directory we have option dash m. And we also want to assign a shell to this user, and I want to assign bin bash. Okay, if you want to see from where this information is coming from, so very simple, um, not cat because it will state the screen. Okay, that's fine. Cat slash etc shell. Okay, and here we have all the shells. Okay, of course, if we start shell scripting tutorial or trainings, however you call it, then we'll discuss this more. Please provide your feedback if you want to learn, okay, about the shell scripting. So for this time, I want to assign a bash shell to a user. So Here you could use two option in conjunction. Okay, so it is not like you can use only one option at a time. This time we are adding a user. We are also saying, okay, please create a home directory and assign this shell to this user. And this time, which user I want to create, let's say QA1 user. All right, let's hit the enter. It has done. Now, let me come back over here. So my user has been created, and yes, UID, GID, home directory is over here. And this time the shell I asked, it's been assigned to this user. And let's quickly check, do we have, uh, and we know dash t, right? So QA, this was the recently created. Okay, so far we have learned two things: how we can create a user add, how we can create a user along with the home directory. So dash m was the option, and if we want to assign a custom shell, I mean not custom shell, specific shell, then we can use dash s option. Okay, and here, next thing, so far we have done this thing, but sometimes what happened, you have to, or you want to assign custom. Thank you, Manju, for your confirmation. So here the thing is next, what I was talking about. Sometimes you have to provide a home directory. Okay, I mean we don't want user to have a I would say the default home directory. We want user to, whenever user login, it has its um, one place where user can put its data. So this is more specifically like if one developer, one QA, okay, one AI engineer, or so on and so forth, operations guy, Linux admin, Linux network admin, proxy admin. Okay, so all these are working on same project. So I mean, actually, what happened? Even though we don't manage user as well, we do with the group. Okay, everything, but in Linux, we have some common place which where we want to assign a user. Whenever user login, it can access the that directory and put their data over there, and which is shared. Okay, so let's not talk about sharing thing, that we will talk in more in permission part. But today we want to assign a user a specific or custom home directory. So how we could do this? So for that, again, we have to use sudo, and useradd is the command, right, to add a user on the system. And this time I want to assign a custom home directory, and I want it to be slash home, let's say project project op, or let's short pro ops. Okay, so, and which, so operations user, let's say this is the home directory, or there is a we want this user to use this home directory, okay, instead of this one. It is not necessary you use always home. You could also provide any other path as well. Okay, just for simplicity, I'm keeping it simple and using slash home directory. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this sudo user add dash d, because we want to define a custom home directory for the user, and user is ops1. All right, so let's go ahead and create it. So we know there is no error. It means the whatever operation we perform, it's successfully done or happen. Now next we will see the uh, tell, right? And for tell, last user is enough. We want to see, so it's been done, it's assigned, it's this project or pro ops. This is the directory for the this ops1 user where it has to use, right? Now what happened, let me, okay, anyway, you have to see this. So this is the command we use to switch the user. So ops, so far we do not have password for this, right? So we are, I'm just providing sudo switch user dash and which user I want to switch, ops1. Okay, and it says warning, right, cannot change the directory, home pro, no such file or directory. Okay, and we know we have this command pwd, so where we can identify where we are. So user we have changed. Okay, we are on the system login as a ops user, we have changed the user, but home directory is not changed. And if I want to check whether I have logged in as an ops user or not, so the simplest we have a command who am I. It says ops1. There are others as well from environment also we can echo. Okay, so but still it's enough to say we are logged in as this user and this is the home directory, but we assign this home directory. So what just happened over here? Okay, so we have one solution. Okay, so let me for control D just to exit, or you can also type exit. Okay, and then you can again log out. So here if we see slash home, so the directory was not created. Okay, so there is one option. Solution one is to create a directory. Okay, mkdir dash p, and what was the home directory? Slash home and pro ops, I guess. Yeah, and this directory was created. Okay, and let's see whether, so this time user has this directory and it did not have any problem. So if you are using dash d option, so you could create a directory, user home directory beforehand. Okay, or if you don't want to do that, you said no, why should we take this overhead? So we have another option, and another option which I'm gonna show you right now. But so far, guys, please give me a quick confirmation. Is everything is clear? Are you with me so far? Whatever I'm explaining, does it make any sense to you? Please use chat to give a quick reaction. You could also put thumbs up or star or smiley. We also have like this, right? So at least I will also feel yes. Okay. Thank you, Divine. All right. So let's go ahead and okay, Manju. Thank you. Thank you very much. Um, thanks, guys. Thanks. Let's go ahead and see. So this option, what happened? I mean, we have more options, but why this option is different? So I will explain you later, but let's first see what another option we have for the user. Okay, so here let me this time, last time I press Control D, this time let me type exit. So now I'm logged out. So this time I'll create another user, sudo let me say ops, no, not this one. Okay, let's not go with the shortcut. Sudo user add, and this time we will create a user ops2, but this time we use dash m option. So there is nothing new. We already learn about dash m option. Okay, and which is to create a user home directory. Okay, so now we are using both option in the conjunction. Okay, and or as a together, so we don't have to create a home directory. So home, again pro ops, this time 2, and we are creating ops2 user. Okay, this is the username last. Okay, then hit enter and group ops2 exit. Oh, okay, so again the same thing. Let's say mm, uh, 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 what do we have over here? Okay, pro ops and I guess user is also there. Pro ops. So let me change this. Mm, Clear. And if you press up and down arrow key, so the terminal will automatically recall the what are the commands we executed before. So instead of ops2, let's say ops3. Okay. So here the point is, there are some groups we will see later how we can, I mean, in next session, not today. But here the thing is, sudo we know why we are using. Useradd is actual command, the main command, but these are some options. And we already saw when we use -m option to create a user's home directory. But we want a custom home directory. So in that case, we use -d and we want to create this one. Okay. And let's give it a name, uh, ops3, I think. Yeah. So it will be just in sync what we are looking at. So it's created, right? And this time, tell, if we do the tell, where is the tell? Yeah. And we could see also it's a sign, right? So here the thing is when to use what. And if you let me again do the sudo switch user ops3, yeah, ops3, and I could see, right? I could also say who am I, and I got ops3. There is also another command id by which you can also check this. Anyways, I wanted to tell you this later, but it is a command. Okay, so it's working, but when to use what? Here the question is, right? We have two options. So when to use what command? So very simple. If the already one directory is there, and if you want to assign that particular directory to a user, so simply just use the option before. Okay, only -d option. But if directory is not there and you want to also want Linux to be create a directory for you, then use -m and -d option. Okay, so this is so far we learn how to do user add. Okay, any questions guys so far? Any questions, like if something doesn't work for you, doesn't make any sense, or if you need more information or more any clarification on any of the question, please confirm. If you don't have any question, all clear, just put thumbs up in a chat. All right. I'm sorry about this. My okay, my microphone went on mute. I'm sorry about that. I'm still here. Okay, thank you very much, guys. So yeah, okay. So let's go ahead. Let me again tell you what I explained. So we just started with the user modification. So we can have a user modification in different ways. So for example, whatever user we created, thank you very much, Manju and Divine. So let me pull out the chat first of all. So mm, I can, okay, now chat has popped out and all right, I can watch you guys and also chat. Watch it means I can keep eye on a chat. All right. So here the next thing, when we are when I mean when we have something and like whatever we have done so far didn't went according to what we wanted. In that case, what we could do, we could simply have an option, user mode option, and in user mode you could modify user properties. Okay, so user mod, and again the man pages. Okay, here we have all the information. Some of them, if you want to dig more into, go ahead and use this one. But and also I explain user user mode and help. Okay, so it's a summary, kind of summary. You could use all these options with this. So very first thing, let me show you tell dash n and the file dash etc passwd. Okay, so what we want to do here, we want to change the, first we will learn about the rename the user. Okay, so maybe user has moved to another team, okay, or xyz, any reason you want to rename a user. Okay, so in this case we have a dev3, and let's consider dev2 has moved to a, or sorry, dev3 has moved to a qa team, right? So we want to rename the user. So for that, what we could do, very simple, sudo user mode. Okay, and then we have to use dash l option. Then we are performing on user dev3. Okay, and here, and what I want to do, qa2. Okay, I wanted to rename it as a qa2. And guys, always remember, whenever if you perform any operation in user management, so whichever user you are performing the operation on, that will always come at the end. Okay, so here in this case we want to rename user dev3. So we are performing operation on dev3. Okay, and what we want to rename this user as a qa2. So don't think I mean, this happens sometimes, or even especially when we start, we first put the user. We think, okay, we are performing operation on this user, so let's put this over here. But it's not that. Whatever you are doing, you have to put the user at the end. Okay, once you are done with whatever operation you are performing. So in this case, we are renaming this user dev3 into q2. So let's see, we have done. So before we have dev3, and now we have qa2 is over here. Okay, over here. Similarly, but now here there is one thing. If you see user has been changed, and how I identify user has been changed. So if you see dev3 user, okay, it has a home directory slash home dev3 and the user ID is 1002. So similarly, after renaming, user still has the same name. Okay, same sorry, not same name, same username, but it does not have, because user has renamed but ID has not changed. Okay, and this is how you in Linux user management works. Okay, it manages using or track the user based on the user ID. Okay, and 1002, that's why this user, I'd say this was before like this and now it has changed to this one. That's fine, but user directory has not been changed, okay, or not modified. So let's modify the user directory. And how we could do that? So we have very simple command. So we know like -d was the option to customize the user home directory. So in that case, what I could do, sudo user mod -d, and in this case home, and what was our option, user qa2. But before that, let's check, do we have anything over here? If we, okay, we do not have qa2 home directory. So let's modify the home directory. Okay, sudo, let me clear the screen over here, and sudo user mod -d home directory qa2, and we want to perform this time operation for which user? This user qa2. Okay, because we want to change the home directory. So in order to modify, we are going to use this command, sudo user mod -d and home. We want home directory like this, and the user is qa2. So we are performing, we are not creating new user. Before we created a new user, that's why this was, that option was different, right? But in this case, we have existing user and we use the user mode. So let me enter, and this time we could confirm quickly. Okay, qa2. So I guess, so again the same thing. uh if I see over here, so let me clear the screen first. If you see, the file has been modified, sorry, not yeah, file has been modified with the new user. I mean, in this tel /etc passwd, the user's home directory has been modified, right? But it is not detected. So it won't, or if we do not have this directory, let's dash t, if I do something like this, so it's not created over here, but it has been changed over here. So what we could do, of course, the same option. So we could use -m and -d option all together in order to rename the user as well as change the home directory. So in that case, what I could do, let's say this time, let's rename this user ops3. Okay, and as a qa3. So I would say user mod, and what I want to do, user mod, I want to rename first of all ops3, and ops3 as a qa3. So qa3, so this user, okay, 1005, it's the ID. So for renaming, we use -l, then we have to provide the name of the user. After that -m -d, okay, to customer home directory, and it should be created. Okay, and then here I wanted to say home, and we have qa3, no, qa3, or let's say qa4, and okay, we are using qa2. Let me keep it qa3. Okay, so because I think I have a group already there. So user mode and renaming as a qa3, and we want user directory to be created like this, and which user we want to perform this operation on? Ops3. Okay, so it will come at the end, but let's change its shell as well. So dash s bin and bash, and this one, sorry, I already put this one, and here we have to say qa3 user, but I would like to check, do we have any home directory qa3? No, we don't have. All right, so we are safe. We can execute this command, and we could see we are going to rename which user? Ops3. So I made a mistake over here. I have to type ops3, not the qa2. Okay, and we are performing operation on ops, sorry, not 2, ops3. Okay, live session. Okay, sometimes it happens. So ops3 is the user, which on that we are performing operation. We also want to change ops3 shell to bash. So that's why we are using dash as option, and we want to modify and provide the home directory. Okay, qa3, and we are renaming. So dash l is option to rename qa3. Okay, and now I'm gonna hit enter, and let's check quickly what just happened. All right, so qa3 1005 user, it was before ops3, and this was the home directory for ops3. And sorry, now we have also modified, okay, all together in one shot. Okay, so that's how you can use. So these are the some of the options I have explained. In practice questions I will explain you more. I mean, not explain you, I will provide you more questions where you could do the practice for this. Okay, and if you want to learn or dig more into, we have so many options over here. We already saw this right over here. So we have shell, uid, you can also, you can unlock and delete. So user mode is used to unlock. If user is logged, what you could do, you could unlock the user. You have this option over here, right? And directory of chroot user, remove user, or lock user, help, and uid. When we talk about group, then again we will revisit this topic, but I think according to my experience, and I really don't want to make this session too long, that's why we are only, I split it the same, I mean, in 2 sessions, one for user and one for group, and of course we will do more things later. Okay, and so far guys, do you have any questions on this? Whatever I explained so far, everything is clear? How we can add a user, how we can modify a user, right? How we can rename a user, how we provide assign a custom home directory to a user, how we can change the home directory, or when we create a user, how we ask Linux to create a home directory for user. Okay, and sometimes you really don't need a home directory at all. Okay, that's why it doesn't create. So please let me know quickly if you have any questions. Yeah, Deepan, thank you. Yeah, I might be went too fast, okay, or if you feel fast, then yeah, once it is there, you have option, okay, you could revisit it, and yeah, that would be if you need to. Okay, no question, cool guy. Good. Anybody? All right, then I take it as a no questions on this topic. Whatever I explained is so far all good. So let's see the next thing in user management, and that is deletion of the user. So, I mean, you know, construction, I mean, constructive is in order to create and manage all these things, it's very easy, but to just destruct, okay, or destroy thing, it's very easy. So we have simple command user delete, okay, and del, and of course we have a main page, something like this, and delete a user account and related files. Okay, here we have yes, there are more options, but one option is important which I would like to tell you. Okay, and what is that? So for example, if I want to remove a user, so how I could do, simply okay, let's go ahead and tell. Okay, so in order to remove a user or delete a user from the system, I have to use sudo user delete, and I wanted to delete qa3. Okay, but before that, one thing, ls dash t and home over here. Okay, so we have qa3 user, qa1 user, dev3 user. So let me first remove, let's keep things like this. Okay, and this time, first I want to remove qa3 user. Okay, so in order to remove sudo, not as it's a user delete q3. Okay, so user has been deleted, and we could confirm over here. So we do not have user qa3, but if we see, okay, if we come over here, so not here, if we see over here, so qa3 user has been deleted, but its user directory is still present. Okay, and that's actually we do, we really don't delete the user data until it's completely fine. But usually what happened, in my case, what I have done most of the time, we whenever we whether we disable a user, okay, or if we have to delete a user, then we don't delete the data of the user. Okay, so that's is there. But in case you are sure you want to delete a user as well as user home directory, so you have to just use one thing, user delete dash r, and let's say qf1. Okay, let me clear the screen first so we can focus what we are talking about. So we are talking here sudo user delete, and when you use dash r option, it means qa users data, all the data will be gone. Okay, and yes, mails pool, so we did not have any, I mean, this created any user email directory, so that's fine. But if we see dash home, so qa users home directory is already gone. That's it. Okay, so this is the one thing I wanted to explain you on this. So far we learned three things. Okay, and three things are user mode, sorry, user add, right? Second, user mod, and third is user delete. So that's what we learned today. Okay, and if you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, that's it on my side. Okay, if you are following along, delete all the users, create all the users, you do practice, and in next session we will be again revisit, but we also have to start, we will learn the group management. Okay, So if you have any questions, please let me know, else we go ahead and move forward. All right, so I take it as a no, and let's go ahead and then I ask question to you. Okay, all right. So by first thing, what command is used to add a new user? I expect answer. So first option is user add. Second option is user mod. Third option is user delete or user del, and the group add is the next option. All right, so yes, answer is A, user add, right? We already saw in order to add a user, we need to use user add command. Next, we have what command is used to change a user name. So user add, user mod, user delete, user group. So we already know what command is used to change users username. So of course we no adding a user add is the command. Just guess, guys. What do you think? All right, so let's go ahead. So yes, user, very good, divine. Okay. So user mode, in order to change user's name, we need to modify it because we are not adding a user. Okay. Next question we have, which command delete a user and all data of the user? User add, user mode, user delete, not user, none of the above. Come on, guys, please. I'm expecting answer from your side. What do you think? Option A, user add, option B, user mod, or your option C, user del or delete. All right. So here the correct answer is none. Okay. Of course, user delete is the command to delete a user, but here the catch is all data of the user. Okay. And for that, we need to use dash R option. Okay. When you put dash R, it means remove everything for the user. Okay. So this is for you. Thank you very much for the participation. And now we are end of the quizzes and session as well. So let me put you the summary over here. We learn about the two important files slash etc passwd slash etc shadow. Okay, so one is for the user information, another one is for user password related details. Okay, so and we also saw about user add, user mod, and user delete. Three commands I explained today, and all these commands I also explain you. You could take help, you could take you could check the main pages. Okay, so I will be sharing the quizzes for you. Please provide your feedback and do the practice. Okay, and one more thing, please let me know which kind of questions you want. Do you want straightforward questions or do you want scenario based question? How would you like to do practice with? Okay, and accordingly I'll prepare for you. Okay, so that's it on this one. Of in next our live stream or live session, day 5 group management, we will learn, and that will be on Monday 24th of November, same time. Okay, and please do provide your feedback. Okay, your feedback is really important. How this today's session, do you like it? You don't, if you don't like it, if I was able to make you or explain you the concept. Okay, if this is the case, please give it a thumbs up. Please, you are new to our channel, you could subscribe. That is the uh, easiest way, okay, to support our channel. It's a thumbs up. Okay, so in next session we will go ahead and do this. And yes, one more thing, please provide your feedback in the comments if you're later watching on. Okay, and let me know what do you think about. Okay, and yes, again the same thing, this is our LinkedIn group. Want to connect, and if you want us to me to create a WhatsApp group, please let me know, of course, in the comments. And this are our social media handles. Okay, whatever you are using, please feel free to follow. We'll share the details on all this. So thank you very much for your time and your attention today, and we will see each other on Monday with the next topic. Until then, I wish you very good weekend. Enjoy, do lots of practice, and please don't forget to provide your feedback. Okay, see you next week. Until then, bye bye.